some of the challenges I was facing back then was just clarity in my purpose and my vision. I felt like I had lost fuel and I needed help, kind of getting re-energized for taking on my journey to the next step.
Mm.
I was basically exhausted physically and mentally.
Yeah.
That was the state of mine at that time, and I couldn't really quite find the groove to get back on track.
Mhm.
It's not because of lack of education. I mean, so many things are so many resources are out there, and a lot of things are common sense, but I just couldn't quite do it on my own. It was something I was looking for, but I wasn't just quite sure what it was. When I came through your website,
Mhm.
some of the messages you put through kind of resonated with me. And I think you've seen that throughout our sessions, where I'm very big on analogies, and I look at myself kind of like a computer. And in a computer, you have the hardware and you have the software. My hardware was almost outdated. And not only that, but it wasn't working at its full potential, basically. And as far as my software was outdated too, and I just couldn't update it because I didn't know what the right things to do. I didn't have even enough space or memory to allow for that type of change. So those were some of the things I was dealing with, in addition to just some emotional stress and challenges as far as relationships. A lot of triggers that I wasn't sure where they came from, what was the source. And I just didn't know what they meant or how to interpret them, and certainly not how to fix them by any means. So really, I was just looking for someone to help me walk me through the different challenges, whether they were physical or emotional. Your story kind of resonated with me, your background in tech and your education, and the reason why you were doing this. Your messages were clear, and I felt that upgrade your body, update your mind. Like I said, they made sense to me. I'm in technology, I'm in tech, so everything is like anytime someone uses tech words, it makes sense to me, and that's how I felt. Different from the traditional therapy, and therapy is not necessarily what I was looking for. I was looking somebody to kind of help me move forward, and help me decode some of the things that I felt I was struggling with, and move forward with actions. And it seemed like when I read the website, that's what it was. It was focused on the solution and moving forward and how we can help you get to, rather than focusing on the past and dwelling on some of that. That to me would it is a loss of energy. It's the first set of sessions that we did that focused on the lifestyles. Those were just the best way, I think, to start this journey. In our very first session, when you explained all those different components and how they related to our life, and you gave that great perspective. The aha comes from like just being convinced on those things. So something as simple as how important breathing, and it's not that I didn't know, but I think the way you broke it down made it that I understood it for more than what it was, and that kind of laid a great foundation for the work that we did after that. I think, and you've witnessed several aha moments where I'm just like, I started out with you, and I know so many sessions I have cried. I started out by crying because I digged into something that was really stressful and was causing so much pain for me, and affected individuals around me. And I know that by the end of the session, I almost forgot what it felt on the other side. That was the beauty of it. My body, my physical body, how it reacted to that change. I think at some point you witness how my back, when I was going through the motion of describing those anxiety points or stress, my whole body was aching. And after doing the work, the psyche work, it was like my muscle responded, they relaxed, and I couldn't even feel that pain or that stress in my body. And it was just like it was lifted.
Yeah.
And I think I made the analogy of I felt like I just had like a massage session, an hour and a half massage session. I'm pretty sure I made that analogy.
You did.
It's a massage where, you did that session and, it took care of that knot you have that was bothering you.
Mhm.
And it's almost too good to believe at some point. You're like, really, I fixed this? And I remember asking, do I have to do more work? And you're like, no, just enjoy it. And
Just enjoy.
I think, huh?
Just enjoy, yeah.
But I mean, the beauty of it is it was just so natural. After our session and after working on a specific issue, it just dissipated from the issues that I was dealing with. And I mean, that was extraordinary. The improvement that I felt right away, that same day, the same week, that same month, and kept building on it. It gets to a point where you just feel less anxious. You start noticing you're happier all the time, that you're accepting to be happy. That you're accepting yourself in so many different levels. And it's not just a matter of just saying you accept. There is some work, but the result is very obvious. I tell you this in every session on how grateful I am to the work that we've been doing together, because my relationships, and I think that was one of the issues that were getting impacted by the stress that I was feeling, or the different issues, or the open ones, right? That made me react. I think was my relationship with my partner, my relationship with my kids, my relationship with my colleagues at work. And the most beautiful part of it all is the relationship with myself. More zen, more serene on the inside, more sure, more peaceful. And I think the first time when I approached you, and I was trying to express what some of the issues I was dealing with, I know I mentioned several times anxiety that I was feeling throughout the day, in the middle of the night while asleep. That anxiety is gone because we were able to target all those thoughts, that coding that was putting me in that state of mind, and creating those kind of emotions. So sleeping better, living better, and the most important thing is it allows me to have the energy, the will to pursue more, and pursue the things that we've talked about. As you know, like I have an entrepreneurial mind, and I want to get into many things, and I need that energy. And when I came to you, I felt like I was out of fuel and I couldn't go on. And I had so many things to accomplish, but how can you do it when your physical body and emotional body isn't working and isn't helping you get to where you need to be? So the impact that I see right now is, like the immediate impact is my personal relationships with people around me and with myself, but the longer impact is going to be the success of my own mission and my own purpose. And that's, I can't wait for that. I think there was a lot of things that were not allowing me to see my purpose clearly. So I know we started that conversation, which was great because it got me to think about it and figure out. But I know when I came back to you, a lot of those purpose statement, I jotted them down, but I was like, I don't know if I believe in them. Like I wasn't sure about my own statement and where I stood as far as my purpose in this life and what I was meant to do. It's almost like my purpose was conflicting with my values now compared to before. I was a mess. I was all over the place. Like
That was amazing.
I wanted to believe in my purpose, but I was disconnected. And through our session, I think we were able to point out the issue that I was having and how some of the feelings I had towards myself were coming through, and I was projecting them on others, and that affected my purpose. And what a beautiful, dance with it to get to that, and how we like linked it all together. And I think after that, finally, that last session, I was excited. I was like, okay, I figured out that's why it wasn't working. But yeah, that is still my purpose. And sometimes just being sure about your purpose and removing the doubts and that's one of the toughest challenges in finding your own purpose. So that was really a beautiful kind of discovery. It was I was really excited when I was able to kind of put my finger on what was wrong and kind of get back, because without the purpose, you're working, but you're not enjoying the journey. And I'm all about enjoying the journey. Yes. So although I knew where I needed to be, but the fact that I wasn't certain about it made it difficult for me to go on and be excited about it. But yeah, you and I worked through why that purpose was bringing some kind of challenges for me. And at the end of the day, you helped me see my shortcoming and how I was, like you said, like we deducted, I was projecting some of my own failures on others, and being impatient about that. But that was I think that was a pretty good win, I would say.
Interesting, right? How everything is really connected, like the way you do things in one area, like the whole relationship pattern, right? Relationships at home, at work, with yourself, and maybe your family and your past, how everything is somehow connected and spills into your different life areas, how you actually show up at work, how you show up in your love relationship, how you deal with your health in the different lifestyle areas. And it was just beautiful to see in your case how you were actually connecting the dots. And also we talked about your past here and there, but it was more of like confirming what you were experiencing in the here and now.
Yeah, and the fact that you were flexible enough with your strategy, where we kept dancing between the purpose and all the different things that needed to be addressed, and I appreciate that kind of flexibility. Kind of brought me to my purpose without having to, stress about it. You got me to think about it a little bit, and we did some work in between, and we finally just brought it back at the end and closed kind of that loop. So pretty excited about that.
One thing that is very important, and that's why I honor you for your work, is to be radically honest and to accept what you actually see in your life and to stop projecting your experiences on other people.
Yes.
Be it your family, what happened in your past, or be it your environment at home and at work.
Yeah.
And that is a huge step to move into self-reflection. Yes, and to really look deep and be honest and see what is in there, which is sometimes not pretty or makes you cry.
Yeah.
Right. And you would rather forget and not talk about it. But this is also not about, as you said, it's not about dwelling on it. It's using these experiences as a brief reflection, as a confirmation, maybe as an inspiration.
I tell my friend about my sessions with you. I say it starts with a simple question: how's your week? And we focus on the good, and eventually some things that are not good come up. And from those little situations, like you said, there are opportunities for us to discover more about ourselves and improve. How that conversation turns into just figuring out that specific or those specific emotions that needs to be dealt with, and being able to address them one by one, and just keep piling up the wins and result from that is amazing. Sometimes also it's not easy to look back at yourself, but I think the way you bring the person to that discovery is the most important thing, because through our conversation, once we get to that, that's my biggest aha moment, is you convince me, and then we do the work to lock it in, and it just it's work, it's effective, and it's easy.
It's easy.
It's easy. That's the biggest selling point of it, and it's easy. And I think you've also probably seen my progress over the weeks since when I started till now. And I at some point, I think I was crying in every session. I think I haven't cried for the past 5 sessions.
Yeah, but I always say, right, our tears are the gold of our soul, pretty much. It's a healing power.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they come out, there's some truth is being said in that moment. Yeah.
I would say it takes being open to the process too, but there's really almost, when I say it's easy, there's nothing even to be open, because it starts with the conversation, and you come to those conclusions on your own, and you help the person lock those, and you help them kind of walk them to that decision process. I never really felt that I was doing a lot of work to get to the results. I never felt that it was painful. Because like you said, it doesn't dig into it. Once you find out what the issue is, it's what's the root cause of that emotion, or that situation, that feeling that's causing you, that situation that's causing you to feel a certain way. And then we deal with it and lock it, like you say.
Lock it in.
And lock it in. For me, I felt that it was easy in the sense that it wasn't painful.
Yeah,
it's a fun process at the end of the day.
Tell me about your doubts.
Well, I had my doubts whether I'm a little bit old-fashioned, I would say, to a certain point, and I had my doubts of whether we'll be able to connect, and whether this session will be able to work via Zoom. But it feels just like we're in the same room, and I have no doubt that even if we were in the same room, the results will be the same. The thought has never came, because since our first session, I felt comfortable. I felt your presence, and I saw our session being efficient after every single session. And so I remember at some point going like, well, he lives in the area, so worst case scenario, like we'll find a way to meet, we're not that far from each other. But the Zoom session have been great. Like I said, I don't feel any different from if we were to do them in person. It goes back to really who you're dealing with, and I think you're somebody who's very easy to talk to, and very present and patient, and I think that comes across the screen. As to the psyche session themselves, I'm not sure exactly what's involved. I'll leave that to the expert, but it seems to be working.
I love
It
that.
works. And you know, when you do the muscle test with me sometimes, and or you know, you see whether what I said was strong or weak. Every single time you did that, I felt, I was like, yeah, that was strong. And you came back, yeah, that was strong. And when it was weak, I felt it. So
Yes.
you were right on the money every single time. I was like, yeah, that was weak. And we said it was strong. I'm like, yeah, I got it. It is strong, so it's already locked.
Which also tells you how intuitive you are already, right? Our
Yeah.
body actually knows, and you
Yeah.
can tune into that.
You know, it was just, you validated every time, every emotion I have. And you know, when it was weak, we were able to work on it. And you know, you allowed me all the time that I needed to fix it. I felt safe. It was a safe space for me to be, and it allowed me to transform what I needed to change. So, you know, to answer your questions, I think the virtual sessions are just as effective as if we did them in person.
In Psyche, the process itself is very simple and effective.
Yeah.
But what's happening in the background is very, very complex. But you don't have to know it, and you don't have to understand it, even though our conscious mind, our logical, analytical mind sometimes would love to understand what is actually happening here in this virtual session. Why do I feel the same you feel? And vice versa. And that is why it's amazing when you have that trust, and you're open, you're sharing, but you're also open to let yourself into this process and notice what happens. And that's all it takes.
Yeah, but I mean, you do an amazing job creating that safe space where it allows people to talk. And you know, I know I've even, you know, asked you to work with other people in my families because I believe in it, and I saw how easy, and the other members in my family have the exact same experience. And I'm really grateful to have been able to not only find you, but discover this new method that works for me. It's like you said, it's effective, it's simple, as complicated as it is in the background. And you see immediate progress without having to dwell in the painful situations and the stressful, you know, hot buttons that you have. So that's the beauty of it, I think. I would ask sometimes that if they are frustrated, they can't figure out why, if they lack energy, physically or emotionally, to give this a try. Just like me, I think I knew a lot of things weren't working. I was looking for a solution. But most of the time, I think the first thing that comes to mind, and most folks would refer you to traditional therapy. For me, I just knew that wasn't going to work. I wasn't ready to go through hours and hours of therapy session, digging through the painful part of my past. I'm a 43-year-old woman. I want to move forward. I don't necessarily want to dwell in the past. I want to recognize it and recognize those experiences for what they are to me. We are not kind of ignoring our past and ignoring those experiences.
Yes.
We are acknowledging them and we're dealing with them, right? And that's what some of the work that I had to do is deal with those situations and make peace with them. Yes. And find a way to get out of that situation. And I think one of the biggest aha, going back to the ahas, and that most people need to understand is you helped me to stop hurting myself. And it's not like I wanted to hurt myself, but we get comfortable in certain way of dealing with ourselves, and with the coding that we have in the back of our heads. We can't get out of it on our own. And I think that's the most important thing that I would tell somebody is in this situation, they don't know what to do, is it is very hard to do that work on your own.
Yeah.
You need to find the right thing. If traditional therapy hasn't worked for you, and it's and I recognize traditional therapy for what it offers, but this type of work is different. It helps you focus on your present and on your future, on how to move forward. And it helps you also explain certain concepts about life and the body, how it works, and how our physical body is connected with our emotional and our spiritual, how all of that is connected. And it kind of helps you kind of just understand who you are and what triggers you, the positive way and the negative way. So that's what I would tell anyone who wants to give this a try. I would also recommend the lifestyle sessions at the beginning. I think those for me were very crucial step. They kind of allowed me to have the base, a strong base. So when we went into the work on the different session about birthrights and all the different areas, I was ready. I had the right platform. I had a healthy body and mind to a certain extent to kind of take on all those lessons. So that kind of helped me have a good start.
It gives you a bigger picture about how everything is connected, right?
Yeah.
Including your lifestyle, the breathing, the hydration, the eating, the sleeping, the movements, and everything affects your mood and the way you think and the way you recognize your body, actually. And what is actually going on all day long, what you're doing with your body, right?
Yeah.
I loved how you got to that, how you went through these different realization steps, and then before diving deeper into the inner mindset.
So those kind of give you a really first quick hacks on how to feel better and how to make sure you're in control of your mood. And breathing, water, exercise. It's really great how you break it down and you make it simple, and you help find different ways to motivate the person based on who they are. So those were I really enjoyed those first 4 or 5 sessions that we had around that. I make a point to tell you how grateful I am to the work you're doing with me and all the improvement you helped me make in my life. And I do it because I am truly grateful. I was at a point in my life where I was tired, I was exhausted, I didn't know what to do. I knew traditional therapy wasn't going to work, and I felt out of option. I tried all the self-help book, following different self-help gurus out there, but what I needed, it's something deeper,
Mhm.
something that can dig deep into my emotions and help me figure out, but turn around quick for me, because I didn't want to dwell in it. This is not a good quality, but I'm a bit impatient person. So for the impatient person in me, this was wonderful. I can only imagine how bad things would have been for me right now if I haven't been working with you, because I was at a point in my life where I was just tired. I was about to give up and looking for a solution. And it was very clear that as educated as I am, as resourceful as I am, I needed the help. I needed the help. And because I was too much inside my head, I needed somebody from outside, but I needed the right person. And between what I read about your profile and the method that you used, I knew that was right. And fair enough. I think from our very first session, I was excited. I think from the first session, you can see what to expect. And so that was great. And again, thank you so much for all the work that you do, not just with me, but everyone else that you work with.
Thank you, Sophia. And you are doing all the work. I'm just
Yeah.
guiding you through a
A little bit,
technique.
yeah.
It's just like pulling.
Hand holding.
And yeah, and the safe space and everything, because that's important. And that's part of being human, right? We can help each other. Why should we solve all our problems alone? We all have our unique gifts, and so do you. And you're on your path to dig deeper into your purpose and to bring it out, and it's going to be beautiful. And I can literally see how you're boosting your vibration pretty much with every revelation that you have, with every change that you're going through. It's really beautiful. That's a gift to witness. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. I keep feeling my energy level and vibration, like you say, keep getting elevated, and that's really exciting. I just have better days.
Yeah,
It's that simple. I have happier, better days, easier days. And I know the easier sometimes can have negative connotation, but with this one, it's just ease of living, ease of loving, ease of interacting. So it's a beautiful process, and I'm excited to do more and see what else this process can bring to me. So I'm excited about what's to come. I know there's some exciting areas you have there in my next step. So I'm truly excited about what's to come.
Because we talked about it last time, how you started out on the helping yourself pretty much, right? Focusing on the problems that you had and getting out of that hole. And now we're shifting into a forward-looking, progressive kind of actualizing yourself or realizing yourself, finding, okay, there's this new Sophia now. She's came out of the phoenix rising from the ashes. And so what is this new version of you now going to do and bring into the world? And that's so exciting, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, you phrased it perfectly. There's this new version of me, and now we get to work with the new improved version and what she can do. Before it was just getting her out of that mindset, that really low mindset that she was, and bringing her back to where she needed to be. And that in itself is quite remarkable work, just to get a person from that to the point where that person doesn't even remember why or how it felt to be to be that person, right? And so just knowing how much we did to get, I think that's the toughest part, This part is going to be fun.
Mhm.
But yeah, really looking forward to the process, and what's going to come out of it.
Yes. Yeah.